Hello, friends. My name is Amanda, and now I would like to tell you a story from the Book of God. And this is a story about God's chosen king. Now, years passed after Samuel called the Israelites to turn away from the idols that they worshipped. The Israelites begged for a king, and Saul was chosen as their king. But after a while, King Saul did not obey God completely, and God was not happy with King Saul. So God chose a new king for his people. God sent Samuel to a certain family in Bethlehem to perform a selection ceremony and to anoint the next king. God said to Samuel, "I have chosen one of his sons to be king." And when Samuel was there, he saw the oldest son who was tall and handsome. And he thought to himself, this must be the one that God wants as king. But God told Samuel, "I do not make decisions the way you do. People judge by outward appearance, but I look at the heart. So I do not choose him." Son after son was presented to Samuel, but God rejected each one. But finally, the youngest son by the name of David came. He had been in a field tending to the sheep. God told Samuel, "This is the one I choose." And from that day on, God's Spirit was with David. Now, David waited patiently to become king. He respected and served Saul. David became a mighty warrior and a musician. He became so popular with the people of Israel that Saul became very jealous and tried to kill David. But David escaped into the bush. While David was in the bush, hundreds of loyal followers and soldiers came to support him. But Saul and his elite troops hunted David and his men. And one day when Saul was hunting David, Saul went into a cave because he needed a bathroom. But David and his men were hiding in the back of that very same cave. David's men whispered to David and said, "Now is your opportunity." Then David crept up to Saul and cut off a corner of his robe. But later, he felt guilty because he had cut the corner of Saul's robe. And he said to his man, "I will not harm the king that God has anointed, his chosen king." David did not allow his men to kill Saul. After Saul had left the cave and gone on his way, David came out of the cave. From a high place, he called out to Saul and bowed low in respect. And he said, "My father, O king, see, I'm not trying to kill you. You were just in a cave, and my men told me to kill you, but I spared you. I will not harm the king that God has anointed, his chosen king. Look at what I have in my hand. It is a piece of your robe. I cut it off, but I didn't kill you." And Saul said, "Oh, David, my son, you are a better man than I am. You have been so good to me, but I have done wrong to you. May God bless your kindness to me." And Saul went back to the palace, but David stayed in the bush. And some time later, Saul died in a battle with the enemies of God's people, the Philistines. David eventually became king, just as God had said. And this, my friends, is the story from the Book of God.